Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me tonight, and welcome to the 8th episode of the Positively Disney Phone-In Show. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, and I'm really glad you could join me tonight. And, you guys, I wanted you to know that I set up this show for you guys specifically to call in and share your stories. The number to call is 844-483-4763. That's 844-4U-Disney. I don't know how your weekend has gone. It just seems like it's getting busier as we start heading into the Thanksgiving season and Christmas season. And for our household, it was crazy busy with homecoming and the Sounder soccer game in Seattle here. My husband went to that land down under this weekend for a week, and I had 2 singing engagements. And no, I'm not going to be cutting any CDs anytime soon. I just humbly sing the melody. I'm also working quite extensively and intensely on the 3rd Positively Disney book, the romance edition. And every time I write these stories, I just get so involved with them and just run the whole gamut of emotions, fall in love again and have a little tear here and there, and mostly making my heart smile. So I'm very grateful for all those contributors. And I've met my quota for that book, but of course there's a 4th book coming out in July, and then the 5th book will be later, a little bit later down the road. But anyways, if you want to call in tonight, I'd love to talk with you. Something that I was thinking about, have any of you guys ever seen anybody famous at the parks? I know I've seen one person actually at Walt Disney World and one person on the flight to Disneyland. Years ago, I saw and met and spoke with him, Larry Linville, and he played Major Frank Burns in MASH. I don't know if any of you guys ever watched that show once in a while, but I actually met him, and very nice fellow. And then getting off Splash Mountain a few years ago, I knew I recognized this guy, and it's not hard to recognize him, was the fellow Dwayne Chapman dog, the bounty hunter. And I never watched the program, but I think I caught a few snippets or something like that. And it was kind of interesting because we got off Splash Mountain, and then all of a sudden we saw him getting off Splash Mountain. And there are a lot of secret entrances and doors and all that around the park, because we had no idea where he came from or came out of. And that's kind of part of the magic, I guess. They can move celebrities in and out without other people really seeing that. Something I was thinking about the other day is, I don't know about you guys, but the older I get, the more I want to meet characters. And I have had the good fortune to meet many of the characters, not near all of the characters of the parks. And as some of you may have known from previous podcasts, I had the opportunity to meet the Talking Mickey for the first time. And if any of you don't know where Talking Mickey is, he's at Town Hall there by Town Square when you first walk into either Disneyland or the Magic Kingdom. But I also developed a real soft spot for Goofy this time. He is just like the biggest hearted, lovely, fun guy. I will say I really loved Goofy this time as well. And I think this was only the first time I had a photo with Goofy. I know a couple of my favorite characters that I do go see frequently is Gaston. That guy is so outrageous and so conceited, and I can't even believe what comes out of his mouth sometimes when I see him, but he's just so hilarious. And I'm sure most of you who have encountered Gaston know that he's a real character and a half. I actually do have a call coming in. Hello, welcome to the show. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Kimberly. Stan Solo here.
Oh, hi, Stan. How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
It's good.
It's funny you were asking about meeting celebrities in the parks or on the planes or whatever.
Yeah.
And actually, not a big celebrity, but I'm a big fan of hers, Andy Gutierrez from the Star Wars show. I knew that she was going to be at at Hollywood Studios for the Star Wars Galactic Nights.
Okay.
And one of my goals was to kind of at least see her.
Oh, see her from afar, huh?
yeah. Or get a picture of her from afar. But anyway, so she was actually hosting one of these shows, and they were going through the audience asking questions if anybody could do impersonations. So I didn't know what I was going to do for an impersonation, but yeah.
Oh.
She came over. So I did a Jawa impersonation and made sure I got a selfie with her before she ran away
Oh.
to the next person. So yeah, so that was kind of an exciting meet and greet type of thing.
That's so cool. That's really good for you. I mean, you really wanted to meet her, obviously, because
Yeah.
you
Because
volunteered.
I've met a
to
lot
do
of the other Star Wars celebrities in the past, but she was one that she already wasn't in any of the movies or anything. But I do watch her every week on her podcast kind of.
Oh, fun! And
Yeah.
so you said you've seen other celebrities of Star Wars.
No, well, not
Oh.
well, just from afar, like from like special Star Wars celebrations, like Anthony Daniels was there and Peter Mayhew and like that, but just from afar, like and they were there in the parade, not
Oh, gotcha.
like I didn't get a chance to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But,
so fun. And so now this was a Star Wars event you were at?
yeah, it was Star Wars Galactic Nights, and it was during Star Wars Celebration. They had one night at Hollywood Studios where they closed the park early, and it was a hard ticket event, kind of like not so scary Halloween party type of thing, but at Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
And the entire thing was Star Wars themed. And boy, Disney put on a good show there. If anybody has an opportunity to go, that's a Star Wars fan, I highly recommend it.
Oh my gosh. Do they do that every year?
That was the first time they ever did that.
Okay.
They used to do Star Wars weekends, which was like an all-day event, and it wasn't a hard ticket event. It was just kind of
The theme, kind of?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, kind of like Food and Wine would be, but it would it didn't cost extra. But this was an extra ticket. I think it was $100 or something like that.
Oh,
And,
wow.
like Toy Story Midway Mania was a complete walk-on.
Oh my gosh.
Like there was like I took a picture of the sign. I think it said 2-minute wait, and it took us 2 minutes to walk through it to get.
Oh yeah, probably.
To the thing. That was the wait. We're walking through the thing.
Oh.
And yeah, and they had like the Star Wars celebrities do a parade. We kind of didn't do that, but when we first walked in, it was pretty neat. They gave us our lanyards, and there was a big card on the lanyard, and it was in black and white. And the idea was you go to these different spots, and they'd give you a sticker, and you put the sticker on the card, and it basically made the black and white picture color once you got all the stickers.
Oh, okay.
Like a jigsaw puzzle almost.
Oh, cool.
And then that night they had the special Star Wars fireworks that was even bigger than what they normally have for the Star Wars fireworks.
Oh.
But before they had that, they said, "Did anybody collect all the stickers?" And everybody cheered and all that. And they said, "Well, hold up your lanyards." So we're holding our lanyards up in the air, kind of thinking, "Well, this is kind of like silly, but
Yeah.
whatever."
Where's it going?
Yeah, exactly. Where they're going with this. And then all of a sudden they kind of started sparkling. And it's just cardboard. It sort of started sparkling, and then slowly an image appeared of the, I think it was the Rebel insignia, and it was glowing on the card.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was the simplest. I mean, it was done with a black light. They shone a black light behind us.
Okay.
But it was so neat and so unexpected, and it just kind of like, wow, that was like a little touch of magic. Like,
wow.
it was really neat. Yeah.
Oh, that is
And
fantastic.
they had droids driving around. They had like the R2-D2 Builders Club was there with all their droids, and you get pictures with the droids if you wanted to. And it was the first night that they had. Well, I guess they had soft tickets or soft events, but when they had BB-8 there, but that was a huge lineup to go see BB-8, so we didn't do that. And they had special photo pass magic shots with where you would stand there and then you get the picture back and you were fighting with Darth Vader.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
So did they actually had the droids R2-D2 like strolling around through the crowd, sort of, or? Yeah,
like we're kind of in that area where the Star Wars store is.
Right. Oh yeah.
Galaxy's Edge, I think, what's that something?
Yeah.
Anyway, in that area, they had quite a few of them. They had probably about a dozen different R2-D2 like droids, including R2-D2.
I love R2-D2.
Driving around. They're just driving around. Like, it was really neat. But they also had we saw them at Celebration as well. But it was kind of neat to see them outside.
Oh,
and you could get your picture taken with them or whatever. And, it was. It was really
The
well done,
closest. Yeah, go ahead.
and I was going to say, and it was a sold out event, but it was not crowded at all. Like Disney really did it well in that they didn't oversell it.
Okay. Did they have like all the attractions open or just sort of a select few? Like they
Well, it
do
was
at the.
Hollywood Studios, so they
Oh,
were
well,
all
I
open.
mean, I know. There's.
Actually, Rock and Roller Coaster had a special Star Wars tag to it, where instead of playing Aerosmith music, they were playing the Star Wars music.
Oh, fun. Do you go on
Yeah.
that? Do you go?
I don't do Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I have never. That's the only ride I have never done, actually.
Yeah. There's lots I haven't done, but that's one of them. But yeah, the guys I went with, they went and they said, yeah, it was kind of neat. It was a different experience to have the Star Wars theme music going through instead of Aerosmith.
That is so cool. I experienced the I guess the new Star Wars and the fireworks and the projection show on the what was the Chinese theater at Hollywood Studios just this past summer. Holy cow. I mean, you never know what to expect, when they've got something new, and it was just amazing. We stood right between the projector devices or whatever, and it was absolutely fantastic. So you said that the fireworks in the show was even bigger than that, I would imagine, for Star Wars.
Yeah, they seem
event.
to have like the more fireworks. It was like more down with that the Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
Like there was fireworks along there too. Like this seems to be there's more.
Wow.
It's like a tag on it.
I was so excited to get into the Star Wars store when they first opened it. And I bought an R2-D2 purse. It was kind of a toss-up between BB-8 and R2-D2, but I'm kind of old school. So I went with the R2-D2. And honestly, it was so funny because I love kind of fun shoes and fun purses. I had more guys commenting on my purse when I got back home than girls. Like, I mean, the odd girl would notice it, like, oh, but all these guys were complimenting my purse. I thought it was so funny. And I also bought the Stormtrooper skirt because it's a pattern on there. And from a distance, you just kind of think, oh, it's a black and white pattern or whatever. And but it's the Stormtroopers, and I just love it. And I cannot wait for the next Star Wars movie. When does that? Do you know when that's coming out?
Well, December 15th is the actual day, but December 14th they're having special event nights.
Oh, okay.
I was able to get tickets for the 14th, the double feature, where they'll be showing the Force Awakens and then right after the Last Jedi.
Very cool.
So,
I can't wait.
Tickets I got in IMAX, so I'm excited about that for
sure. I have a little funny story to tell you about Darth Vader. So my good friend here is a chiropractor, and believe it or not, she actually worked on Darth Vader's back. She did chiro treatment on Darth Vader's back, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
So David Prowse's back, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay.
But I thought it was so fun. There's a little dizzy and everything, really, and I thought that was really fun. Oh, gosh. Well, I hope to make it to a Star Wars event sometime. I know I was going to do the race it was 2016, the Dark Side Star Wars Run Disney. And sadly, I did not make it there. I did not train, and life took off in front of me. And, I have so many reminders of that because my husband, we were like all gung-ho going to do this. And he got the tumbler and he got the cap and, and the shirt. And I almost feel guilty anytime I wear that. But it kind of reminds me, it's like, you know what? Get on that treadmill already and keep going because I am not going to fail at that again, But, that's so cool. So how late was the Star Wars open? The event open? Was it like till midnight?
Yeah, I'm thinking it ended around midnight, if I recall.
Okay.
Yeah. That weekend was just, we were doing Star Wars Celebration, so we were getting up at 2 a.m. to get in line because we wanted to see the big panels, and then not getting home until 9 o'clock, then going out for dinner.
2 a.m?
Yeah, we were getting up at 2 a.m. We were there like pretty much at 2:30. Not before that even, because we were very close. We rented a condo. 3 of us rented a condo, 3-bedroom condo. and it was really close to the convention center. We couldn't walk it, but we drove. And
Holy cow.
we got in line, pretty much 3 in the morning every morning to get in line, and we stood outside for pretty much an hour, or it was more than that because we didn't get in till like 9. And once we were in, we had to get our wristbands, get in line to get our wristbands, and we had to get in line to actually see the panel.
So you said line, so you were not the only ones out there that hour, right?
Oh no, there were people, like hundreds of people ahead of us.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
people
crazy.
pretty much spent the night every night.
Fun but crazy.
yeah. I think if that was my second celebration, and the first time I went, I didn't do any of the big panels, but I did the smaller panels, and I did the show floor an awful lot, and I got to see all the smaller stuff.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. And this time I went to all the big panels. Like I got to see the Harrison Ford and John Williams and all the big panels. George Lucas was there.
Wow.
And while they were exciting, it was so exhausting.
I bet. Yeah. That would have been really cool to see all those guys in the big panel. That would have been.
Yeah.
Wow. And of course they cap it, right? I'm sure. Like they can't fit.
But there's only so many seats.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Thanks, Dan. That's I'm going to have to put that on my bucket list, I guess, to get there. Cause it's not like I live, next door to head over to an event like that, but that's so good. I guess you would just really have to plan in advance, right?
Yeah. Well, they haven't announced when the next one is. I believe it's supposed to be 2019, but then D23 is also supposed to be 2019 next.
Yeah, I know. D23.
They were both this year. D23 and Celebration were both this year.
Yeah.
So they're probably both going to be in 2019. Now, I don't know if Disney's going to take over, because Reed Pop did Star Wars Celebration.
Okay.
But that was they were doing it before Disney purchased Lucasfilm.
Right.
So the rumor is that Disney's going to run it next time.
I would think so.
Will it be in Anaheim, or will it be back in Florida, or will it be somewhere else? Because Celebration is all over the world. But every year it's in a different country.
Yeah.
So where it's going to be next
well, lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Dan, for calling in. That was lovely to hear about that, and I look forward to hearing from you again.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay.
I'll hang up and listen to the rest of the show now.
Okay, take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. I just wanted to finish with what I was speaking about before. I don't go to Disneyland much at all. Walt Disney World is my go-to park. And one thing that I found out later in life, my kids are all 17, 19, 21. But when we were, going when they were really little and they were in strollers, we would take advantage of, not long lines. How many years ago was that? 15 years ago, 14 years ago. And I'll never forget, Wendy and Peter Pan were together. It was so cool because you don't get to see those guys together. At least I haven't. And so I was so excited. And we had the kids in the stroller, and I turned around and looked, and the two older ones, that was only when we had two kids at the time, they were both asleep. I'm like, oh my gosh. So do I wake them up? Or do they just continue sleeping and we take photos with Wendy and Peter? Well, as it turns out, the truth came out years later. They were not really sleeping. They were pretending to sleep. I couldn't believe it. Most kids don't pretend to sleep, that's for sure. And they just were a little bit anxious or a little bit afraid to meet the characters. And I was so shocked. And I don't know if any of you guys have kids that were a little bit afraid to meet the characters. However, when our daughter was about 9 years old, she had the opportunity to, of course, meet Ariel, who is one of her favorites. Ariel and Belle, actually, are her favorites. And she didn't sleep then. But I couldn't believe it. After all this time, we were standing in line, and then they fall asleep on you. Anyways, so I had... wanted to share something that was very inspiring for me, but I had the amazing opportunity to meet Leah Chase, who was the inspiration behind Princess Tiana. She's known as the Queen of Creole in New Orleans. And we went to the restaurant that her and her husband had Dookie Chase, and Dookie had just passed away last November, and that restaurant is, I'd say, one of the biggest sort of secrets, I guess, of New Orleans. I just spoke with somebody today that they go to New Orleans all the time and had never been to that restaurant. So I told them about it, and they're definitely going to check it out. But it's the best fried chicken. And Leah Chase is 94 years old now. She still goes into the restaurant 7:30 every morning. We got taken back to meet her in the kitchen. I had actually, oh, it's right here. I have Tiana's cookbook, and I have a bit of a Disney cookbook collection, as well as cookbooks all over the world, because as much as I kind of like to cook, I'm not a very good one unless I follow a recipe, and my husband can concede to that. He's very good at cooking. Anyways, I wanted her to sign my book, and so she signed my book. And then I found out she had a cookbook, which I just have to show you because it's really cool. And it's a piece of art, and you actually see that artwork in her restaurant. And she signed the books. And, you know, she has lived through a lot of things in New Orleans. And she signed and she said, life is for living, enjoy every day. And I think it's so powerful. It's very simple, but it's so powerful. And when we parted ways, my sons and I were there at the time. She said, you guys, she goes, go out and make a difference in the world. That's what it's all about. And I thought, that is what it's all about. And she, as I said, she was just absolutely lovely. If you're ever in the New Orleans area, just go check her out. It's the best fried chicken I have had in my life. And actually her fried chicken recipe is in the book. But she has entertained presidents. She said, sometimes the president will come in and wants breakfast. She said, I don't feel like getting up and serving anybody breakfast in the morning. But she said, well, it's the president, so she's got to serve him. But she did have a photo of her and her husband. And there was the president of the United States, president of Mexico, and the prime minister of Canada. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I found Leah with her lovely daughter, Stella, who is also running the restaurant, and gave them a copy of the Disney book, because how I found out about Leah Chase was from a cast member that had visited New Orleans, and his story is in the book. I believe it's in the second book. You know what? I can't even remember. It's the first book or the second book. Sorry, Joe. Anyways, it was lovely. So please go see Ms. Leah Chase at the Dookie Chase restaurant. Just actually by the door is also a really lovely character painting of Ms. Chase sitting at the table being served by Princess Tiana. So anyways, it was absolutely just lovely. I really enjoy finding out if there's some kind of Disney connection in a place that I'm visiting. Oh, and I'm going to go to my next caller. Well, hello, Mr. Stephen or Miss Sheila. Welcome to the show.
No, it's me.
It's Stephen. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell everybody that you and your lovely wife, Sheila, are the hosts of the Monorail Tales podcast. So check out their podcast too, you guys. They're just really lovely. And Stephen seems to know everybody. So, oh, how's that for an opener? Okay, you go take it away, Stephen.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that restaurant that you were talking about, Dookie Chase's restaurant, next time I'm in New Orleans, I will definitely check that out. That looks absolutely amazing.
It is. Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for that info. That was great.
You're welcome.
But I know you were always looking for a story.
I am.
So
yeah.
I kind of have a little one. This is kind of fun for me. I was in Disneyland back in July, and we had a little meetup with a group of podcasters and online radio people and stuff. And so we had a little spot at Trader Sam's, and we were there. You know, it's kind of late afternoon. It was warm. You know, here you are mid-July.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. So it's pretty toasty, and
Next door in all the nice little shady areas where the trees are, out on the outside deck of Trader Sam's, they were having a ADB, which is Adventures or ABD Adventures by Disney group that was there, and
Oh,
they had pretty much filled up that whole area, and it was neat to see. Actually, a few people I kind of recognized and knew from podcasts and
ah,
stuff. So anyway, they had kind of finished up and had left, and they must have had like 7, 8, 10 tables over there.
okay.
But they had it roped off, for them, and they left. And so we had our little group that was kind of in a corner right there. We had got lucky enough to have a little shade. So we were having fun talking to other people about Disney and everything else. And all of a sudden, I look behind me, and who should come walking up but Disney legend Bob Gurr.
Oh, you're
Now,
kidding.
no, now for those of you who don't know who Bob Gurr is, if you have ever been to Disneyland, if you have ever seen anything that has wheels on it, more than likely he designed it.
Hmm.
Bob Gurr is not only, and he's not an engineer, he's just a great creator of things.
Okay.
And but anyway, he comes walking up. I think out of the 5 times I've been there, he's been there 3 times. He's always there. It seems like that I'm there.
Oh, wow.
So, oh yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So anyway, he comes up and he meets up with his little entourage, which is only about 3 people that were there, and they sit down at a table that's kind of right next to us, but it's out in the blazing sun.
Oh,
And I could see Bob, and it was like, he's holding his hand up, trying to talk to the people who he's with and stuff.
yeah.
And I'm like, we had no room where we were at, so
Right.
I couldn't bring him over. But I look over behind me, and here's all these tables sitting there, and there's nobody there. And I knew the group had just left. So I walk up to the concierge desk, and I'm like, excuse me. I was like, these tables over here are, are they reserved? Well, they're reserved till 6 o'clock. It's like 5:30.
Mm,
I'm like, well, I just saw the whole group leave like, 30 or 40 minutes ago.
right.
You basically have, well, not basically, you have a Disney legend
Legend in your midst. Yeah.
baking over here in the sun, and you have all these tables here. Is there any way you can get him, just go over and get him moved over here?
Yeah.
And they just kind of looked at me like, oh, okay. So let me go check my manager. So I kind of stood there for a minute. So they went and got the manager, and it's like, well, these are kind of reserved. It's like for the ABD. I said, they just left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they can, they can come over here and sit. So I kind of walked over, and I got the attention of his handler.
Okay.
And I was like, come here. I was like, listen, I can see you're all baking over there and you're about done. Just follow that guy and he'll take you over there where it's a kind of more comfortable seat. And he was like, oh, great. Thank you. And so, Bob came up, Bob's doing his normal Bob. Hey, hi, how are you? I'm Bob Gurr. I'm like, yeah, great. Can I have a picture with you? Because I know who you are.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, absolutely. Here, take this. And he got his handler to take the picture. And then he had to instruct the handler on how to take the picture. Okay, you don't take it this way. You take it back over here. And he takes me by the shoulder, backs me up. All right, now you got to be up where you're facing the sun. The sun's facing us. It explains everything as we're getting this picture taken. And I'm just like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
This is really cool. So anyway, the guys I was with were all just like, wow, man, you just saved from baking a Disney legend.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
but
that
yeah,
is
he was
fun.
great. And it was so cool to watch him. I mean, he was there an hour at least after, I had my picture and everything with him and stuff. And people would come up to him and he never said no to anyone. As a matter of fact, there was a couple times people would actually sit down or near him and stuff and always take it. And I'm talking, it didn't matter what age. These were older people. These were kids 7 or 8. I mean, it was just great
Oh,
to see that kind of magic
yeah.
with a Disney legend with people that admire him. So it was really
Right.
cool.
What a stand-up man, really.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Oh, that is so neat. See, everybody, he does know everybody. I told you Stephen knows everybody. Well, you seem to run into all kinds of folks. For what I asked, remember I asked you and Sheila, how is it that you know all these people? You said you said you weren't quite sure, but that is so neat. Wow.
Yeah, it's really neat. You just gotta pay attention a little bit,
Yeah.
because the very next day I had walked into Main Street and I was like, I'm going to walk over to guest relations, City Hall, just take a picture overlooking, the flag area and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Mm.
So I walk up, I'm just taking a picture. I'm getting into shady also because it was very hot.
Mm.
And then I look, I kind of hear someone talking. I'm like, I recognize that voice from somewhere. And I look down and it's Tom Nabby, who, if you don't know who Tom is, Tom was hired at the age of like 14 to sell Disneyland papers at the during the opening of Disneyland.
Now I know who you are. Yeah, I remember that. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And he was just sitting there on the porch. And I mean, he actually lives in Orlando.
Right.
So he kind of hangs out with some of the other people there. But he was just right there. And I'm like, listen. And it's funny because this is the time I just could not think of his name.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know who you are, and I apologize. I can't do you. Say, I'm Tom Nabby. I am so glad to meet you. I got a picture with him. That was really cool.
Oh, that is so fun.
They're out there. You just gotta watch and pay attention a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good thought, because most of us are so enamored with what we're doing, in the parks and with our families, or trying to make sure we get to our fast pass or a reservation or whatever. And I know that it's really nice to be able to just sit down once in a while and just observe. And I bet you if we did that a bit more often, we'd probably see a few more people as well, because we're always, kind of, there's so many sights and sounds around us that is drawing us in, right? And then we're not really paying too much attention to the rest of the folks there, But that is so nice, and it's wonderful that they're open to that, because there are, of course, some that aren't, for probably security reasons, really. But sure. It's so nice to have that welcome, to be able to do that and take a photo. And boy, I bet you he has a few stories to tell.
Yes, he does. Actually, I think he's got a couple of books out there also.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, Stephen, thanks for calling in, and say hi to Sheila for me.
Thanks. I will. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah. All right. You guys take care, right?
Okay. You too.
Okay. Thanks. Bye. I think I'm going to wrap up the show tonight. Thanks again for joining me, and very excited that you could be a part of this. And I have some really exciting news to share with you next Monday when I'm on the air again. But for now, you guys have a great week, and be safe. Take care. Bye for now.